Good morning, guys. So this video is a video that you're definitely going to want to watch. This is an update video on the fiasco that I've been dealing with the girl from Hawaii. And I have a ton of court documents in front of me, and we're going to talk about them. So let's get into the video. So I am going to link my YouTube page in my profile where you guys can go over. There will be a much longer video on YouTube here in just a little while. Giving you guys a lot more context, a lot more details, sharing text messages, screenshots, lawsuits, fake restraining orders, false police reports, among many other things. So let's talk about this. So for those of you that have been following me for a little while, you guys have known that I've been going through an ordeal with a young lady out of the state of Hawaii who did a rent-to-own on a vehicle of mine. After 33 months, she decided to stop paying. I got the car back. The car was absolutely destroyed. During the 33 months, I really got to know this individual. Found out that she was on felony probation for fraud, among many other things, out of Honolulu. Found out that she had stolen and embezzled quite a bit of, like, $56,000 from her now previous employer, who wife has MS, and he's got the beginning stages of dementia. Mind you, she didn't expect that a lot of the staff that actually worked there on the property remembered her and remembered the things that she did of their own account. So she can't use the dementia claim like she's been trying to, because there's other people that can substantiate exactly what she did. So long story short, I have these that we're going to talk about, but this is just like the icing on the cake. This is absolutely hilarious, and this is like the nail in her coffin, per se. So during the time that she had my car, she didn't make payments, and there was a lot of like issues with the thing. She lapsed insurance a couple of times. I ended up having to get insurance on the car myself that covered the car, but it didn't cover her. There was a lot of stuff. So I found out that she had been doing this to a lot of people around the island of Oahu. And what she was doing was she was renting people's cars, doing a rent-to-own on people's cars, and then she was turning around and renting those cars out to other people, per se, and collecting thousands of dollars in money. And in some cases, never gave them the car. In other cases, they got the car, and then the car got repossessed because she never made another payment on it. So let's use example number A. We have Savannah Bailey. Savannah filed a lawsuit against her on September 26, 2023, and unfortunately Savannah did not do it correctly and had the incorrect last name, and had an address that Fia had moved from, so she wasn't able to serve her. She has the correct information now. Anyway, in this complaint, Savannah says, I needed to rent a car for my move to Hawaii. I found Fia on a Facebook group offering a 2018 Nissan Rogue for a year at $3,000. $3,000 for a year. That screams red flag. After some back and forth, I agreed to pay a $250 deposit. However, later she wanted to rent the car to somebody else, and I offered to pay $1,500 up front to secure the car. We signed an agreement for me to get the car at the airport on September the 11th. When the day came, she claimed that she was stuck at work and suggested I get a rental car. We agreed to a full refund, but she said the money was with her sister-in-law. We scheduled a call, but she did not answer. Later, she offered a 2023 Hyundai instead. If you guys can see that, that's my car. Which wasn't in our contract. After some delays, I texted her multiple times to arrange pickup, but she eventually said she couldn't rent the Nissan Rogue for $2,000 as agreed upon, and suggested $550 a month for the Hyundai. That's right there. Mind you, the minimum payment on the Hyundai was $614.01 a month, plus her insurance brought her to $745 a month. I just wanted a refund. She kept changing the terms. As of now, I haven't received my money back, and she has been ghosting me. That's claim number one. Let's get into claim number two from Lance. Lance filed May 31st of 2024. And Lance actually has a lot. And I'm going to do a separate video where I'm going to screen record all of the text messages from Lance and Fia. So you guys can read those. It's a ton. And it's definitely something you guys are going to want to watch because it really speaks volumes of her character. And it shows you guys that the stuff that she's trying to claim about me, that I've been harassing her and that I'm this and that, it's all false. It's all false. So Lance goes on to file a report and he says, I paid to rent their car for a full year. They agreed of a certain amount per month, $160. I'm sorry, Lance, that right there should have been your red flag that it was a scam, but the poor guy ended up going through with it. They needed help maintaining the payment, so I covered them twice, about $1,000 and $730 another time. Then I found out they were delinquent on the car payment. This was a car that they owned. This was a Volkswagen Jetta. Hold on, getting to the last page so I can read the rest of this. It says they ended up pocketing the money and letting the car get repossessed 6 months into the rental contract with over $2,500 of my belongings inside. Throughout the entire ordeal, I've been contacting her dozens of times. Most of the time, it went weeks with no response. She responded occasionally to tell me that she was working on getting me paid back, but never made a real effort and kept prolonging it. She later admitted that she had been trying to stall me as long as possible. When the car got repossessed, I again contacted Fia multiple times to help retrieve my items from the repossessed vehicle. She made 2 separate appointments on 2 separate occasions after having to call her and text her repeatedly. And according to the bank, she canceled one and no-showed on the other. The car was later sold at auction and all of my belongings were discarded. I am suing her for 6 months of unused payment for the vehicle of $1,500. The money that I lended her to catch up on the behind payments, $1,730, separate from the rental agreement, and the value of the items that was in the vehicle, which was roughly $2,500. He sued her for $5,000. Now, this case was thrown out too because Fia likes to bounce around and does not stay in one place. And when she knows that she's being looked for, she takes off running. Here is proof that he sent her $4,080 and she only sent him $200 back. Now here's where it really gets good. I've only got 2 minutes to do this. So as you guys know, I have hired an attorney who is going through the whole process of doing all of this. Yesterday, I get an email and a telephone call about 4:30, 5 o'clock my time. And he was kind of giddy. He was laughing. He thought it was hilarious at first. And I said, well, what's going on? He says, well, you'll never believe this, but Fia went into the court and filed a frivolous TRO, which is a temporary restraining order. It was denied. It was denied. However, she still tried. So in the restraining order, she goes on to say, recently I returned a car to Sean I was doing a rent-to-own for the last 3 years. I have dealt with so much stress with him. Upon the meetup to drop off the car to his friend, they inspected it and didn't say anything but thank you. What she doesn't realize is the entire meetup was on video. It was all being recorded, and there was never an inspection done. She handed the keys and then she took off like a little scared bitch. We're going to have to do a part 2 on this because I'm about out of time. What's up, guys? This is part 2 of the Fia fiasco. And I was reading the restraining order that she tried to file against me under frivolous accusations, which now is being investigated by the court, and she is more than likely going to be charged. And we'll get into that in just a moment. So in the state of Hawaii, if you file a TRO or attempt to file a TRO with frivolous accusations in there, it's considered perjury under Hawaii Code 710-1060, It's actually a Class C felony, and it's punishable by up to 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. Giving her criminal history, she would probably get 5 years. So let's talk about this for a moment. So yesterday on September the 30th, she walked into the Honolulu courthouse and tried to attempt to file a restraining order on me. What she did not realize was the courts was already in receipt of all of the evidence from my attorney, and they are currently working on a case, and it includes Lance and Savannah. And if you don't understand or don't know what that means, watch the video before this one that gives you more context and leads up to this video. So this is blown up to be a big ordeal. There is a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of people involved. And I can tell you from what I have been told thus far, they are going to be charging her with multiple counts of felony charges. And I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to disclose a lot more until I know that she's actually been charged. But I do know that I myself have spoken with law enforcement. I have spoken with a detective from the Honolulu Police Department. I have filed a police report. I have my police report number. I can also confirm that she has made a lot of false reports and frivolous claims, all of which is being investigated and will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law per the Honolulu Police Department. Now let's get back into this fake restraining order. So starting from the beginning, she says, recently I returned a car to Sean that was I was doing a rent-to-own with him for the last 3 years. I have dealt with so much stress with him. Upon the meetup to drop off the car, his friend then inspected it and didn't say anything but thank you. That was all on video, and that didn't happen. That's completely fake. I have paid over $25,000 to Sean with an initial down payment of $3,500. He is now harassing me for $4,000, posting me on social media, throwing my past in my face, threatening that law enforcement will knock down my door. Again, all text messages are saved. They're all on my phone, and they're all being released today in a series of videos. So make sure you're following my page, because I will be screen recording and posting each and every text message all the way back to November of 2022. So you guys can really see the context of what I've been dealing with and her character. Let's see here. Contacting my past employer who has dementia, making false claims about me. None of it's false. I have it all in text messages, and I obviously have all of the evidence and the proof in court documents. Ruining my reputation. Your reputation's already horrible. You were on Hawaii's Most Wanted back in 2020, wanted for credit card fraud and grand theft. And making it hard for me. Oh, I made it hard for you. And told him I'd like to settle this in court, but he's being excessive. His last post was today, 9/29/2025. I've had coworkers message me about this. I can't even bear to go out in public because I'm in fear and embarrassed. Unless she got a job recently, she's not working, because where she was working at a sandwich shop in Kailua, she was fired. I'm hoping this TRO will stop the harassment. Mahalo, Fia. So, it was denied. Let me do this because it shows my address. It was denied because harassment, as defined by HRS 60410.5, is not substantially alleged. So, when that one was denied, she tried another one. That one was denied too. So here's what I can tell you. The court is now doing. They are going over all the documents that my attorney and myself has provided to them to prove that she committed perjury with filing the TRO. They are going to be filing a misdemeanor claim on her for filing a false police report, a felony charge on her for the false information on a TRO. She is also being charged with multiple counts of fraud and grand theft and larceny and many other things from the fiasco with Lance, myself, and Savannah. And they're investigating other things. They're also reaching out to her felony probation officer and going to let them know all of this and give them proof of everything. And we'll see where it goes from here. But I can tell you that, and I know that she watches the videos because she referenced it in this frivolous claim on the TRO, is Fia, I'm speaking directly to you right now. You can continue to make these false accusations that you're making. But one thing that you should remember about me, since we talked long enough, is I save everything. I have every text message, every telephone call, everything that we have ever spoken or talked about since November the 30th of 2022. All of that is in the possession of the attorney and in the possession of the Honolulu court system. I would highly suggest at this point that you stop incriminating yourself, stop making things worse for you. There's no running from this. These charges are felonies, so even if you flee and take off the state of Hawaii and off the island before they can get a hold of you, they do know that you have ties in Long Beach along with many other places, and they do have ways of finding you. I would highly suggest at this point that you just be a good girl and just sit there and wait for law enforcement to come get you, because they are coming to get you. I promise you, they're coming to get you. But continuing to file false affidavits and things like that, you're only causing yourself more trouble. You know what you did. I know what you did, and I know you've been watching these videos and reading the comments of people who have been commenting, and you know that they are not buying your lies and your bullshit either. So the only thing I can tell you is you've made your bed. Now you can lay in it. I don't really know what else to tell you at this point. I gave you the opportunity to pay the $4,000 in damage to the vehicle and the missed payments and the unpaid registration and the unpaid safety, and you refused to do so. You feel as though the $3,500 down that you paid as a down payment, which is written into the contract, you're paying $3,500 down and $614 a month, before you kept lapsing insurance, and then I had to get insurance on your car, and then you went up to $745 a month, which I have that contract that you docu-signed as well and agreed to. So the only thing I can tell you at this point is I would highly suggest that you use some of this money that you've scammed from people and get yourself a very good attorney, because you're going to need it. But with your criminal history, I can highly, I can assure you that you're going to prison. You're not going to get probation this time. You're going to go to prison, and you have nobody to thank but yourself. Y'all have a great day.